I wanted to come on tonight. I got some questions about nutrition. I know that's a big question for you guys. You know, you all want to get big, you all want to get strong, want to make sure you're maximizing your time, your training alongside, with what you're eating. That's a perfect combination. And there's a couple of things I'm going to go over tonight. I'm going to go over a bunch of different things. So you'll have some strategies that you could directly apply when you're done tonight. What I'm going to do too is I'm recording this, and what I'll do is I'll upload it to YouTube, and I'll send Coach a link, and he'll fire it out. I'll also we'll just do that. I'll have Steve. Is that all right? Send that out to you. I'll send you a link once this is up.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
That sounds great. And then we can share with everybody. So
All right, cool. And then I'll send the presentation part. I'll put in a printout so you guys have it, just because you'll see there's some numbers that, some calculations that you could use, especially on the protein side of things. Everybody wants to know how much protein should I have and all that. So let's kick off. And then at the end, I'll ask you guys if you have any questions. And it could be about tonight. It could also be about our program together as well. Okay. So let me I'm going to get a share screen going here and get us rolling. Okay. So here we go. Let's do it. So I got this developing champion habits. That's my earlier one today. Hang with me. My new one didn't load. Okay. Maybe I didn't change the title screen. Okay, here we go. All right. So here we go. So this is how I like to start off everything. Every time I do a presentation, this is something I like you guys to think about and remember. You guys are champions, and at the end of the season, you get to raise that trophy up high if you do exactly what you're supposed to do. And what you're supposed to do starts right now. It starts by taking care of your physicality, taking care of your mentality, and taking care of, most importantly, what you put into your body. So something that I like to say is really simple. If you're going to build a house, number one, you got to have a plan. And number two, you have to have enough wood. So the wood tonight is referring to your nutrition, what you put in your body, having enough calories. I meet so many college players, high school players, even pro players. So many of them, number one, they don't eat enough. And then there's this other group that just eats too much. They bring too much wood to build the house, but they don't understand what a calorie even is. So anytime somebody talks nutrition with you, if they don't mention the word calorie, they're not teaching you right, because a calorie is energy. A calorie is a fundamental building block to positive nutrition, but most importantly, to energy. Okay? So let me just dart back here for a second. I always say, if you're going to build a house, you need to have a plan. You need to have enough wood. Tonight, we're going to talk about the plan. And by enough wood, you got to ask yourself who you want to be. If you're somebody that wants to build a 3,000 square foot house, you can't show up with 2,000 square feet of wood. If you want to build a 5,000 square foot house, you can't show up with 5,000 square feet of wood. You got to bring enough wood. That wood is enough calories. So there's a lot of guys out there that say, hey, coach, I need to put on a few pounds. I need to put on some weight. I'm running real light. I'm feeling kind of flimsy. I'm feeling kind of weak. And then I say, well, how much are you eating? And they say, I don't know. I'm eating a bunch. I'm eating a lot. And what they are, I call them refrigerator raiders. They starve themselves, and then all of a sudden they crush. They're crushers. What we want to do is get you eating throughout the day on a good, solid plan. So again, just ask yourself this question. Do I know how many calories I take in a day? Is that something that I think about? Is that even something that I've cared about until this conversation right now? And many athletes, if you say, I really don't even know, tonight I'm going to show you, how you can know. But it's okay, because many athletes don't know how many calories that they're typically taking in. All right. So next, size does not matter when your performance is not elevating. Okay. Now, size does not matter when your performance is not elevating. What does that mean? It means this. I meet a lot of players that say, hey, coach, I want to put on weight. I want to put on size. And I always say, well, what if that weight and that size is not functional weight and it's not functional size? What if putting on that weight actually slows you down and is not to your benefit? How do you feel about that? So I don't know if you guys could see this, but I'm letting people in as we do this. That's why my screen's going in and out. So I want you to think about that. Does size really matter that much? If you get a little bit slower, if your bat speed slows down just a tick, does the size really matter that much? So think about performance rather than size. If you're somebody that maybe you're a little bit lighter, but you got tremendous whip and tremendous power output, don't look at size as your answer. You should be thinking about power at all times. What's my power output? Is my velocity going up? Is my bat speed going up? These are the questions that you have to be asking yourself, and the answers to those questions are really what matter. So don't be obsessed with size. This has been in baseball for years. There's been a size obsession. And for years, I got to coach, friendly with Dustin Pedroia, friendly with Brett Gardner. I've coached all these guys. You see Altuve out there. These are little guys. But the only reason they're able to play at the level they play is because they have tremendous power output. And these are lightweight guys. But when they strike the ball and when they release the ball, there's tremendous power behind it. So don't be so size obsessed. Be performance obsessed. When it comes to your fuel determines your performance. What you put in your body determines your performance. Performance is based on energy. So if you're eating right, you're going to have higher energy. If you're eating right, you're going to be able to build strength, and it's going to facilitate your power output. By eating right, your body's going to give you a better return. If your power output's up, if your strength is up, if your energy's up, it's going to translate to more speed, more velocity. When you're fueling well, you're going to sleep better. And when you sleep better, you recover better, which means you can grow better. And as a result of all of that, your on-field performance is going to elevate, and you're going to get a feeling of, I feel great. Coach, hey, I feel great, coach. That's what we want you to say, because as an athlete, when you get on that field, there's only one way you should feel, and that's confident and great. If you don't feel confident in your physical, it's going to cost you in your head. So I need you to feel mentally and physically great. And let's look at that process of starting by what you put in your body and how you fuel your body. So tonight I say you must understand food. Nutrition and calories is about food. Contrary to what many say today, where you could be on a powder diet and just keep taking in all sorts of powders, from protein powders, creatine powders, etc. Tonight we got to talk about food, because the food is the calories. The calories is the wood that builds your body. Food is energy, right? A calorie is a unit of energy, for those of you that are into the science of things. You eat to utilize fuel and get a return. So in order to run, in order to hit, in order to sustain activity, you got to fuel for that activity. If you don't take in enough fuel, the activity suffers. If you take in too much fuel, you feel tired, lethargic, and sluggish. You're not going to be optimal. It's like eating a hamburger right before you go and work out. How are you going to feel? Yeah, you got calories, but they were junk calories. So you're going to feel heavy, tired, lethargic. So too much fuel floods the engine. Like I said, if you're taking in too many calories, you're going to feel slowing down, like you're slowing down, and you're going to start carrying extra fat. We don't want that. So let's go over the food rules. I keep it like this for athletes. For those that are trying to lose weight, this is not something you would share with, say, your parents or somebody that's not an athlete. This is specific to you guys as an athletic population. 3 square and 3 in between. That breaks down to 6 meals a day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, something between breakfast and lunch, something between lunch and dinner, and something after dinner. That's how you fuel. Coach, that's a lot. I don't have time. I have class. I have this. I have that. You got to find the time, because I told you the benefits when you take in calories and you take in those meals with the right structure of a meal, fat, protein, carb, carb, protein, fat, you're going to get the return. So you're going to say, I got to get these 6 meals in because I feel amazing when I get complete meals in. So as an athlete, you got to get yourself on an eating schedule. You know, later in Derek Jeter's career, early in his career, he didn't totally get this. But he said, when I dialed in my nutrition, that's what gave me extra years on the field. And that's when I really started to feel my performance accelerate. So most people look at nutrition and fueling as a secondary to their training and to their skill work. But it is what powers your training, and it is what powers your skill work, okay? So really look at this and say, Coach, I'm glad that I was on here tonight because I didn't realize just how important fueling was. I looked at it as when I'm hungry, I eat, or, you know, when I can get it in, I get it in. But I never prioritized it like my hitting, like my throwing, you know, like my bullpens, and like my physical training. I never looked at it like that. And I hope many of you leave tonight and say exactly what I just said. I never looked at it like that. So we got to eat full meals. So that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm just going to grab a granola bar, Coach. You know what a granola bar and that stuff is good for? It's good for like when you're in the middle of practice and you're like, man, I'm feeling a little bit, maybe a little lightheaded, or I'm in the game and I need just a quick burst. That's when you have those kind of products, granola bars, you know, protein bars and things like that. But you got to be thinking about meals during your day, 6 meals. And we'll get into how to structure meals. Tonight, I'm just giving you an overview on nutrition, and then we'll get into more specifics that you guys can use on a day-to-day, okay? So let's talk real simple. For the guys out there that want to gain some weight, lean muscle, lean mass, good weight, not fat, not junk, you got to take in more calories than calories burned, okay? So you got to make sure you're taking in enough calories and that you're not burning all the calories that you take in, or you're going to find yourself being light. For those that want to lose weight, more calories burned than taken in, okay? So you want to lose weight, you got to burn more calories than you take in, okay? How do we do it? Know your goal, track your intake, adjust accordingly. So I got into this. If you want to gain weight, you want to lose weight, or you just want to sustain performance, you got to know what it is that you want to do. Answer that first question. Know your goal. Is your goal to gain, lose, or sustain? You got to answer that question. And again, I'm going to send this to you so you have it. Then you got to track your intake. What am I actually putting in my body? When I eat this, how many calories is this? How much protein is this? How many carbs is this? And this may sound a little technical, guys, but this is actually how you do it. So I'm giving you an exposure to what I would give you if you were an athlete that had a value of $200 million, $300 million. I'm not looking at you as a little league player, you know, or a high school player or a college player. I'm looking at you as if you are an asset that is paid to play. This is how we would treat you, okay? Know your goal, track your intake, adjust accordingly. Coach, what do you mean adjust accordingly? What I mean is this. Whatever you put in your body has an effect on you. A lot of you guys may not know yet what the effect is. When I eat this, Coach, I bloat out. Coach, when I eat this, I feel really energized. Coach, when I eat this, I feel slow and heavy and as if it's an energy drain. So adjust accordingly means, how do calories affect me? When I take in 500 calories versus 300, 300 versus 200, how do I feel? How is all of this making me feel? You got to start asking yourself that question. When I eat this, do I feel great or do I feel like crap? That's where you have to start making the adjustments, okay? So many of you guys may have seen this. MyFitnessPal, it's free, and it's a great resource to get started on what it is that I'm talking about with you tonight. Now, some people say, Coach, I'm not disciplined enough, nor do I want to track my calories for the next 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever. And I'm just asking you to do it for anywhere between 3 and 6 days. Can you do me a favor and use this thing that you're on all the time, download this app, and you could actually put in what you want to do, what you want your goal to be. Gain weight, lose weight, maintain or sustain, okay? It's going to allow you to choose. And then it's going to say, how active are you? And every one of you are going to put very active. And then what it's going to do is it's going to allot you how many calories you get for the whole day. And then it's going to help you break down your meals. And you're going to input, what did I have for breakfast? What did I have for lunch? What did I have for dinner? What did I have for my snacks? You're going to be able to put all that there. And you have a great handheld tracking system for you to actually learn about what you're putting in your body and the consequences of what you're putting in your body. And you're going to actually see, man, I hit my caloric goal. I didn't hit my caloric goal. I didn't realize that I could have 3,500 to 4,000 calories. Or for those that want to lose, I didn't realize I could only have 2,000 calories and I'm eating 4,000. And that's why I'm continuing to gain weight. So just so you can see a snapshot, I did this just this morning. You can see how it works. Real simple, right? For me, you know, the old coach, the old horse here, 2,480 calories is what I get for the day. After my first breakfast, I lost 450 calories. So my breakfast here was worth 450. So I had 2,030 remaining for the rest of the day. This breakdown here of what I ate for breakfast shows that I was at 33% carbs, 21%, 44% fat, and 22% protein. Okay, so when I look at this, I'd say, you know what? For what I want to do in my goals, my calories were good. I was happy with a 450 calorie breakfast for what I want to do, my goals, which is to really continue to lean out. But I'm not thrilled with my 24 grams of protein. I would like that to sort of flip with my fat. I would have loved my protein to be 44% and my fat to be 22%. Just for me. For you guys, you don't even know what I'm talking about yet, many of you, because you've never actually taken this sort of snapshot on your nutrition and you say, you know what, I'm not making the gains I want in the weight room, coach. Not putting on the lean mass I want. Or I'm holding weight. I'm gaining weight. I don't understand it. Or I'm not gaining weight. This gives you the insight as to what you're actually putting in your body every day. That's why this is so cool. This is one of the best free tools that you can use. And I don't work for Under Armour, but it's a very good app for you to gain hold of what it is that you're doing in terms of the internal consumption of your body and get a hold of things. So that I would suggest all of you guys download, you know, after our call and get going on that. And remember, you got to do 3 full days minimum, but if you can get a whole week, it'll show you where you're at. And I can help you with this if you send me your questions. Okay. So let's talk about some basic essentials. All right. Coach, how much water should I drink a day? Half your body weight in ounces per day. If you're 200 pounds, it's 100 ounces minimum. Okay. So just take your weight, divide it in half, and that's how many ounces on the minimum that you should have. Now, when I say water, I mean water. I'm not talking about Gatorade because it has water in it. I'm not talking about, you know, energy drinks because they have water in it. I mean like straight, clear stuff, okay? So make sure you get that water in, half your body weight in ounces per day minimum. Next, coach, what types of foods should I eat? I say green, lean, clean, and protein. So make sure you're taking in green vegetables. Again, you've heard this before. Find one that you like. Again, if you like salad, get it in. And I know I'm talking to college players here, guys. I get it. You know, you like the late night, you know, burgers and late night wings and pizza. That's great. But if you can, shift that to when you like to let it loose a little bit on the weekend. So give yourself Saturday, Sunday as your free days, or Friday night and Saturday as your free days. But during the week, green, lean, clean, protein, and protein. Make sure you're getting greens in at every meal. Make sure lean, I mean proteins, like, you know, not fatty meats like hamburgers and things like that, but try to get yourself some good lean meats or fish. And clean, no junk. Keep the junk to a minimum. Something I always say, if it wasn't around 100 years ago, you probably shouldn't be eating it today. So think about the food you're putting in your mouth and say, hey, like, what is this? Like, what actually is this? When I bite this and look inside of it, like, what the hell is this? Okay? So we want to make sure it's good, clean, healthy food. and you know where it comes from at that point. All right. And then protein. We'll talk about the supplementation in a minute. So I always say protein is queen, but because you guys are athletes, you need the energy. Your carbs are actually the king. So unlike, keto dieting is a big thing out there today. I don't advocate that for athletes. So I say when you look at your distribution of calories here, it should be carbs, protein, then fat. So like I said, if this was you, you would see 33, we'd want to see almost reverse it. We'd almost want to see 44% carbohydrates, 33% protein, and 21% fat. If it's you guys, right? The athletes that you need those carbohydrates because you're going to burn them right up. Us guys, that just hit the gym a little bit here and there, we're not going to burn them up as much as you, where you have constant activity throughout the day. Okay. So let's get back here. Protein is queen. Good carbs are king. Good carbs means, you could eat a piece of candy and see carbs in there, or you could see, you could see pizza would be high in carbs. That's not something we want because that goes against the principles that we just talked about of green, lean, clean, and protein. Okay. So how much protein? This is like the magic question. I get this from every athlete I work with. There's a protein obsession, which is actually good because you're obsessed with building lean mass. How much protein should I take in? 1.2 to 2.0 grams per kilogram, not pound, of body weight. So I'm going to show you how to break that down. 1.2 to 2.0 grams. So if you're very active, you're training, you're going to move more up towards the 2.0. And if you're not training as much, you're going to be down towards the 1.2. But for you guys on this call, try to move yourself to 2.0 grams per kilogram of body weight in terms of how much protein you take in. So how do we calculate that? Your weight, whatever your weight is, you divide that by 2.2. That gives you your weight in kilograms. Then you multiply that by either 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, anywhere between 1.2 and 2.0, and that gives you the amount of protein in grams per day that you should be taking in. So I did the math for you, okay? Let's say you're 200 pounds. That means you're 90 kilograms, okay? So 90 times 2.0 means you would need 180 grams of protein per day. That's a lot of chicken. That's a lot of beef. That's a lot of fish, okay? That's where the supplementation comes in, where you can take a supplement in terms of a drink, in terms of a powder, and knock it down, and you got 25 to 30, 20 to 30 grams of protein, really. And if you do that later, you get another 20 to 30. That's your 60 grams per day. Now you only have to go and get the remainder, 120, which you can do, through having protein and at each meal, whether it's eggs, whether it's fish, whether it's beef, whether it's chicken, etc. Okay, but you're going to see it is difficult to get that 180. So that's why I gave you also that range, anywhere between 108 and 180. For those of you guys that are really working and training your nuts off, you're going to, again, want to push yourself up towards that 180. And because 180 grams of protein could be difficult to get to, you're going to see how that'll drop some of your carbs. And that's where you have to find that balance, because we want those carbs to still be up. And protein, remember, is the queen, but the carbs are the king. So you're going to have to play with this. And I'm anxious to hear the feedback that you guys have on this, okay? Next, protein supplementation. One way to get a quick 20 to 30 grams, bang, immediately post-workout. So you work out, you have a 40-minute window to crush some protein, liquid, slam a shake. I'm not sure in the NCAA or where you guys are, what you can take or what you can't take in terms of brands. But I'll give you an example in a minute of what you can take. So like these are two brands that I like. One is IsoPure and the other is Biochem. What I like about these two is that they mix really well with water. So they're going to be a little bit low cal, but IsoPure also has a a brand called ISOPure Mass. For those of you guys that are looking to put on weight, some of you, what I call burners, like you just, everything you put in, you burn. You just find yourself really struggling to like even hold weight during the season, you drop. I'm worried about you guys because I want to make sure you get those calories up now. So as the season goes on, you've learned how to eat and you're not going to burn down and potentially see performance declines as the year goes on. So we got those guys that want weight loss. It's a straight ISOPure. It's a very low carb, low calorie. And Biochem is another company that mixes really well. And that they'd be good for those of you that are either trying to lose weight or sustain. For those that are trying to gain weight, you have ISOPure Mass, which works really well. That's 300 plus calories, which is great because you're gonna keep your calories up. I'm working with one kid now. He needs about 6,000 calories a day. That's a lot of calories. Even if you like to eat, that's a lot of calories. So he has to use this in order to just maintain himself while he trains. So let's just go over the basics of tonight. I don't want to take too much of your time, but the basics. Water, half your body weight in ounces per day. You're going to download MyFitnessPal. You're going to open your profile. You're going to put very active, and it's going to give you your calories for the day, and it's going to show you what we call our macro breakdown: carbs, proteins, and fats. We prioritize our protein, knowing that carbs are king. I showed you how to get that number, right? Whatever your body weight is, divided by 2.2 times 1.2 to 2.0. That gives you your range. You got to be in that range each and every day. And I like to end with this and say no eating 2 hours before bed, because I got to get you guys going to bed on a light stomach, because at night, that's when all of these hormonal reactions take place that help you recover and help you grow. So if you're eating right before bed, no matter how young you are, your body's then focused on digestion as opposed to repair, growth, and build, which is what we want. So you come into each and every day feeling fresh and strong, and the training program that you're on doesn't beat the hell out of you. You're always recovering. You're always recovering at night, okay? So that's my message for you. Like I said, I'm going to send this to you so you all have it. So if you have any questions, you won't have any questions because you'll be able to watch this again, and you'll have a PDF that goes with it. Cool? So does anybody have any questions? You can put them in the chat, or you can unmute, and I'll do my best to get you the answers. Anything, guys? So we got 34 guys on here, and no questions.
I think Josh Brown just asked.
Is too much protein good or bad? Well, you know, again, it's too much is listen, if you have a kidney issue or you know, some sort of health issue, then we have to monitor all of this, right? But if you're someone that's healthy, you have no issues, the range that I gave you is actually through the National Dietetic Society. So there's been research on those ranges. I don't, you know, when it comes to nutrition, I don't just make stuff up and say, here, guys, run with it. This is actually researched, that range. So that puts you in a safe range. If you're going to start to go over that, then you put yourself at a little bit of risk. But for something like this, if you guys are active, you're doing your training, you're doing your skill work, this puts you in a positive position because you're taking in enough protein. Okay. I'm going to send the slides to Coach, and I'm going to send the video of tonight. I'm recording this to you guys as well. I'm going to upload a link onto YouTube, and I'll send the PDF presentation, and I'll send the video to Coach, and then he'll fire that out to all of you guys if that works. Okay. So let's see here. Difference between circuit style workout versus the individual workout. So guys, when I design workouts early on, the workouts are more circuit based because I want to trim off any, sorry, I hit my mic, any bad junk weight that you have. So I like you to move through it. The rep ranges will be higher. It'll be more circuit-based, but as we get closer to the season, it's going to become much more stacked, and it's going to be more power-based, and you're going to start to move some iron, okay? So just to let you know that. How important are vitamins? Listen, for where you guys are at, a daily vitamin is fine. So if you can just take a multivitamin, that'll help you make sure that you're getting enough nutrients in. But again, the biggest thing is, think about everything you put in your body that we talked about tonight, the clean, lean, green, protein, all of that. If it's good food, you're getting vitamins, right? That's why I'm telling you this. Good food gives you vitamins, and it gives you minerals, and it gives you good positive nutrients, okay? So if you want to get on a good, whole food based multivitamin, you can't go wrong with that each and every morning. What are some of the best things to eat before a workout? Well, just based on timing, when I said, you have your 3 square and then 3 in between, you're going to always have fuel in your system, okay, which is good. But if you're somebody that says, hey, I'm a little hungry right before a workout, that's again, or during the workout, that's a time you can throw down a granola bar, you could have a peanut butter and jelly, something like that. Something that's quick, that's not going to weigh you down or hold you down. That's what we want. Light, light, light. So that's what I would say to eat right before a workout. Something very light. You could do a trail mix or something like that is just going to give you a little fuel. It's going to put a little sugar in your blood, but because you're training hard, it's going to burn that sugar right out of the blood, and you're going to be good to go. Is meal prepping and eating the same meals each day good or bad? Meal prepping is good because you're prepared, like it says, but eating the same meal each day, I don't find that to be super positive. And here's why. We typically get in a habit of eating the same meal day in and day out, but you got to remember this. If you're eating the same meal, there's going to be nutrients, amino acids, minerals that you're not going to take in, because it's the variety in the meals that will give you the full spectrum of vitamins, nutrients, etc. So if you eat the same thing every day, again, I appreciate the discipline of that, but you could potentially and probably miss nutrients. Like if you just eat an apple, you never get to take in the nutrients that an orange provides. Okay? With the workout, how many calories are we burning? It's a good question. Everybody burns differently, right? Each person on the line has a different metabolic rate, so it's difficult to say how many calories. And then there's also something called EPOC, which is called exercise post-oxygen consumption, which is how many calories you burn after the workout. That's dependent on the effort you give during the workout, the volume of the workout, and how your natural state of metabolism is, okay? So I would say during the workout that I'm giving you guys, you're gonna be burning at a minimum 500 calories to 1,000, right? 1,000 on the top, 500 on the low end, all right? So you guys are burning a good amount of calories in addition to everything else that you're doing. All right, Trent? What else? Anything else, guys? And if you have, again, other questions, feel free, reach out to me and I'll answer for you the best I can. Okay. All right. I think we're going dry. So like I said, I'll get this together, and Coach, I'll send that over to you, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. You guys can review this, you could apply it. And I just want to leave with this. You have to know how you respond to this. So every person is going to respond a little bit differently. So what I suggest is, hey, don't say, hey, how'd you do with this? Or, hey, how'd you do with this? Nutrition and fueling is such an individualized thing. So I really want you to say for yourself, how are you feeling? How does this make me feel? Are these calories enough to support my activity? You have to start asking these questions and know how your body is responding to what you're putting in it. It doesn't matter what the guy next to you is doing, because this is an individualized event, okay? what kind of little meals should we eat in between breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Well, don't look at these as just little meals. Let's say for lunch, right? You're going to have, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say you're going to have a tuna sandwich and a side salad, and that's your lunch. You could repeat that. So don't look at it as just like little meals. You could take your first meal and make that your second meal too, right? And you could do it like that. But these aren't meals, like little meals. Sometimes says, Coach, my big three, I have 1,000 calories for breakfast, 1,000 for lunch, and 1,000 for dinner. And my in-between meals are 500. I'd rather your meals stay the same all the way through, because I want you to start thinking about meals instead of thinking of your meals as snacks. Got it? So I'd rather all of your meals maybe be even a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, depending on what your calorie allocation is. Okay? Cool? And again, like Deontay, we can go over this. So don't feel, if you want to reach out. And I'll give you guys, just again, some of you may not have my direct email, but this way you have it. And, let me know whatever you need. And if there's if there's a theme I see amongst you guys, I'll just record a video and send it out to everybody. Okay? If I start seeing the same questions over and over again, that way you have a resource that you could always go back to. Good?
Great stuff, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Cool, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. I don't like to drag it out too long because I know the attention span after 30 minutes tends to wander for all of us. Us athletes, we have a focusing problem typically. So 30 minutes is my sweet spot for you guys. So anything you need, let me know. Like I said, reach out. That's my info. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Cool?
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.